What is your name and current occupation?
There you go.
What's your name?
What's your name? I'm Carla Bendall.
And I'm Derek Bendall. That sounds like a duo, doesn't it?
I was once Carla Corbino, as a few students, actually, I don't think any of the students remember him like that anymore.
The funniest story about that is when we got married, Carla had a prep student and he was a struggler, and he came up to me and went, oh, Mr. Corbino. I was like, no, mate.
You got it all wrong.
You got it all wrong.
Anyway.
All right, next question. Go.
Okay. What years did you work at MCC?
So this is a really important question because I actually was here before Carla. So
as a student teacher?
I started in 2006 and Carla started in 2007.
Derek officially started in 2008. I started before him in 2007.
But I was here before her directing the school musical
as a student teacher.
So technically,
as a teacher, you were here since 2008.
I was here first. So, next question.
Next question.
What makes MCC special for you? I think MCC has really shaped me and really given me the life that I have at the moment. We might talk about this later on, but I met Carla here and we moved to Ainsbury, and I just think if I didn't work here, I wouldn't have met my wife, I wouldn't have the kids that I have, I wouldn't be living in the area. My life would be totally different if it wasn't for MCC. So MCC is special.
Yeah, I think MCC, what I love about MCC is that my faith and my life are intertwined. You can go to church and you can build yourself up that way, and that's a great thing. But something about actually working and living out your faith in your workplace is such an important thing. And I get to do that every day. It's a true calling to work at MCC. It's not just an ordinary teaching job. It's a real calling, and we are called to be God's hand and feet in this place, and just help children find their faith and their journey with Jesus.
So not meeting me.
That was really good as well.
What brought you to MCC?
I was just looking for a job in an environment where I could share my faith, and MCC I really hadn't heard of until a friend of mine found a job advertisement in a newspaper. She's like, hey, you should go for this. It's actually not far from you. I'm like, yeah, it's not. And I remember coming like, yeah, I'd love to. And I remember the day of my interview, and I didn't have the job yet at all. I didn't even meet anyone yet, but I already felt at peace. There was something about it when coming into the car park and walking to that front office. I remember a student, I can remember the student actually, and just after school saying, hi, do you need help? I'm looking for the front office. She was, yeah, come in. And she opened the door for me, and just that, the student showing kindness, and it was so welcoming and lovely. And I just felt, wow, this is something different and something I really want to be a part of, even though I hadn't even talked to any staff member yet. It was great.
Yeah, that piece is a similar story. I've got a similar story with that. So I've spoken about finding out about the school through Heidi, who brought me in as a director, but I got a job somewhere else. So in my last teaching round, I got a job somewhere else, and I felt shell-shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, I've accepted this job. What have I done? And so I spoke to Peter at the time, Peter Nelson, and I said, oh, I've got this job somewhere else, but I really want to work here. What can you do? And he set up like 3 interviews all in a row. And the first interview was just with himself, and that felt good. And the second interview was with him and Ron Fink. And I just remember I felt God's peace over me. And I was walking back to my car feeling like this is right, which was a completely different feeling from the other job. I felt like this was right, and I remember walking back past the library to my car feeling this right. Then I had another interview. I thought it was gone, and then they sat in on one of my classes, and it was literally the worst class that I've ever conducted. So I had Ashraf Mikhail, who was my mentor. I had Ron Fink, who was like the head of secondary, and I had I had Natasha Oxley sitting in on my maths class. I was teaching quadratics. It was in one of the portables that we've now taken away. It was a day that was like 35 degrees and the air conditioning wasn't working, and I was teaching quadratics to a bunch of year 10s who weren't getting it. And I just remember sitting there and the sweat pouring off my hand and thinking, oh, these guys are watching me and the students aren't understanding anything. Oh no, I'm not going to get this job. Anyway, I still got the job, and I had to do a makeup class for the students because they really didn't get the quadratic at the end in their class. But yeah, all right, that's your turn.
What would you like to say to all the MCC teachers and staff? Like I mentioned before, that this job is not just an ordinary job. It is a calling. It is a vocation. So continue to look to God for everything. And when, the weight, the stresses of teaching and being part of a school get to you, make sure that you always look to God, because He's the one that's brought you here.
I think this place is very special and it's quite unique, and we should really appreciate being part of this community. And I agree with Carla. I think God has selected every one of us to work here, to carry out His plan for the place. In the middle of a teacher shortage, we were well staffed, and I believe that's because God is blessing this place and the work that we're doing in this place. So just if you're a teacher here, just really be thankful that God has sent you here, and be thankful that we get to live our faith every day. Yeah. My turn. How has MCC helped shape your life and career?
I think I mentioned before, it's truly helped me as grow in my faith and really give me purpose for what I do in my job as a teacher here at MCC.
Yeah, so I spoke about the family before, but in terms of career, I had this question yesterday actually. I said, and the question was, why did you become a leader? And it was really hard for me to answer, because the only reason why I became a leader was an obedience to God. I didn't set out to become the head of secondary or the head of online campus. I was asked to, and I had to think carefully about it, because I was enjoying being in the classroom. Being in the classroom is my passion. I love being in the classroom, and so to choose a leadership role outside the classroom meant that I had less time in the classroom, obviously. And I had to really reflect and lean into God to see whether He wanted me to be doing this. And each time I did that, I came, like, I've really felt God saying that this is the pathway that He wanted me to go on. So that's the only reason why I wanted to be a leader, is because I wanted to be obedient to God's calling. So yeah.
How have you seen MCC change over the years? We're not a small school anymore. I remember first coming here and, we had composite classes, classes of, when I started, my classes was 16 kids. And now to have, 26 kids in every class with waiting lists is a huge thing for this school. A great thing. God's obviously growing this place for a reason, but it is different. And so kind of changing from that small school mentality to that large school, but keeping that small school essence, I guess, because this is a community. It's a great community, and we want to still keep that vibe. But yeah, I guess the biggest thing is that growth, and trying to keep that at heart is really important, I think.
Yeah, I agree. We started off small, and we knew everyone. We knew all the parents, we knew all the students, we knew all the staff, and we've sort of exploded in the last half a decade, and that's really a challenge now, and a challenge that we should keep on facing, or trying to keep on knowing everyone, because that's what makes us. The culture here, the community here, that's one of our core values. It's harder now, but it's no less important. So so heaps of people have been. God has brought heaps of people to this place, and each person has come with a particular skill that the school has needed, and so that's changed because we've got heaps. Obviously, the buildings have changed. We're looking forward to the performing arts building.
We are looking forward to the performing arts
really
building.
Nice, isn't it? So
it will be very nice.
So many years we've worked in makeshift drama rooms. My mum actually made a huge black curtain for one of the drama rooms and got is it not RSI? What is it in the wrist? But anyway, but now we're going to have a beautiful professional looking studio, aren't we?
Space.
Yeah.
Space to call our own. Yeah.
Can you share a funny story with your time here at MCC?
Funny
stories.
I don't know if they're appropriate for camera.
Just be careful. Just be careful. I always think of the pig wrangling.
Pig story.
Yeah. And it's happened twice.
Yeah.
So no less than 2 occasions I've been called to wrangle a pig in this college, and I always thought I don't remember this on my job description. So we used to have a farm at the back, which we had a few animals. Chickens, ducks, there was a horse name, was it Taffy or something, Candy or something?
Not sure.
But we also had a few pigs, and on occasions they escaped, and so we had to chase this pig all around the schoolyard and try and get it back into the pen. But I think that led to a really funny. So I've been in charge of Celebration Day for the last 10-12 years. Celebration Day is the last day of year 12. I think other schools call it something else, but we call it Celebration Day. But one of the requests that I denied, that I wish I didn't, was that they wanted to get 4 pigs and number them 1, 2, 3, and 5 and let them loose in the school. So I thought that was really funny. I said no, but that would have been really good. Yep. Anything else?
I don't know if it's a funny story, but it's a cute story. And there's so many of these little, I've been here for so long, it's hard to remember all of a sudden. But things like, I remember a little kid in, I think it was that same kid that got your name wrong.
Right.
And, he did have a lot of learning difficulties and stuff, but he knew how to play the ukulele. And every night, you just see him outside every day. Someone gave him a ukulele just to play, and he'd just be there singing beautiful songs with his 2 or 3 little chords that he knew. And it was just exciting to see this little kid. He might have struggles in some areas, but then, he had this beautiful gift of being able to sing, and he was only in prep and he could do that. And it was just, that's what MCC does. It brings out the best in students, whether or not they're academic or not, it doesn't matter. We really try and find those little bits, those things that kids are good at or called to do, and we try and let that shine.
What's it?
What is your favourite memory at MCC? Oh, I guess it's meeting this guy, isn't it? Well, meeting you wasn't really a favourite memory, but I guess the bonding and friendship.
I still remember our first conversation.
Do you?
Yeah.
What was it about?
I don't remember what it was about, but I do remember the first conversation because I was a pre-service teacher. It was where the rotunda was, where the rotunda's not there anymore. And there was another teacher, and I remember talking to you for the first time and thinking to myself, oh, this is, she's interesting. I'd like to get to know her more. And anyway, so I went back so we had that conversation, and the bell rang, and I went back to the science class, and Emily Squared, do you remember Emily Squared? So that was Emily Hayes and Emily Leafting.
Yep.
They came up to me, they were year 8 at the time, they came up to me, they went, ooh, sir, we saw you talking to a teacher. And I thought to myself, oh, was I that obvious? I didn't think I was that obvious. Was I that obvious? And I started getting a bit worried. And then they said, yeah, you and they said the other teacher that was at part of that meeting. I was like, oh, you've got nothing on me. And I was literally able to wipe the sweat from my forehead. But that was a fun memory.
I think, getting to know you. But another favourite memory every year it's a yearly memory is just the school musical coming together. It's a big thing for our family. It's how we met, it's how we bonded and became friends, and now even we get our family involved. But just to see a group of kids, again, sometimes struggling in life, with academics or things like that, socially even, but they come together and they're working towards this one thing, united as multi-age groups, year 7s to year 12s. There's a beautiful bond, there's an atmosphere of encouragement, and then they come and they practice and they work really hard every 2 sessions a week, basically, after school, giving their time, and then they have this beautiful production at the end where they are doing these things that they never probably imagined that they could do. It comes together, and just that bond that's created.
And that bond's like multi-year levels, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got year 7s bonding with year 12s, and then crying at the end because they know it's the last year 12 time that year 12s are leaving, so that the year 7s are crying.
And those bonds still exist.
Next question. What message would you like to share with MCC as it celebrates its 40th anniversary?
MCC, keep going. The motto is steadfast and strong. I would say keep going, keep looking to God, because He's done amazing things in this place. And just to remember, MCC, that it's God that's built this place. He uses us as people, He brings the right people in, but ultimately it's His plan that's prevailing. So continue to look to Him and continue to keep going even when it gets tough, because we are steadfast and strong.
Yeah, similar. I think we all need to understand that God has appointed us to be here right now, and that we are here doing His work, and we're doing it really well. And so whilst we're here working hard, we also need to be grateful as well for being here. But 40 years, that's a quite a milestone, and I'm looking forward to another 40 years.
Yeah.
All right. Can you share a special memory from your time in MCC? We've done this one.
Oh, we can. I've got another one though.
Go do another one.
What I love about this school is just the opportunity you can for teachers to grow. Like I said, I was initially an early years teacher at the school. I taught grade 1, 2, and then prep for many years. And now I teach VC vet music, which is the other end of the spectrum, you could say. What I actually love is I've had several students from my prep classes come into the year 11 and 12 space. So I actually get to see the growth from this prep that I can remember maybe not knowing how to read, maybe sometimes falling asleep in class in those early stages of prep, those little things, to now this young person who I get to help influence in music, which is my other passion. So I think that's a really special thing.
I've got another memory, and it's actually one of my favourite meetings I've ever attended, and it was 2 days before Dan Andrews locked us down, and we heard rumours. We didn't know what was happening, but we thought we better get ready for what could happen. And so we called a secondary meeting, and it was to look at our online platform. And I just remember that meeting, and it could have been a meeting that could have been really volatile, could have been people angry or people upset or people scared, because we didn't know what was going on. But it was the absolute opposite. It was everyone came in as a team in secondary, and they were like, okay, what do we need to do? And what we needed to do was we needed to get everyone on canvas, everyone on canvas. So I saw teachers that wouldn't necessarily talk to each other, just sit in groups, just to people that were really good at canvas. I sat with people that weren't even on canvas at the time, and we just worked really hard as a team, and we got there, and during COVID and the lockdowns were a really hard time for all of us, but I believe it really did create more of a team than we've ever seen, and we haven't lost that.
No.
We just keep on going from strength to strength.
I guess that's the special thing about MCC is that staff will often put their preferences aside to fulfill the purpose of the college. And they really, really do care about the students at this school. So that's an instance where, you know, you've got teachers struggling with IT and, you know, really hesitant initially to use that platform. All of a sudden it's like, what are we going to do to help our kids?
That's right.
We need to make sure we get the best learning available to them possible. And they put their needs and their wants aside, and instead it became about what's the actual goal of this. Yeah.
And it was, what do we need to do to make sure everyone is on board, or
That's right.
everyone, we're not losing one teacher, you know, the teacher that, you know, has been teaching for 50 years and great teacher in the classroom but struggles online.
Yep.
How can we support this person now to get them online?
Yep.
It was just a beautiful meeting.
That was lovely.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, last question. What do you love about MCC? Everything that we just spoke about.
What do we love about MCC? Just the fact that, and I share this with students all the time, we're not banned from speaking about God at all. When we see a student struggling, we can support them physically. Yes, we can support them with the resources that we have available. But the best thing we can do is actually point them to Jesus, who went through his own struggles and in life, but continued to persevere. And we get to share that at our school. We get to share our personal journeys with faith and life. We get to bring our subjects to life because they've been ordained by God. So we get to point to God in all aspects of everything that we do, and that's a super special thing.
Yes, all that. Plus, the community. I love the people. Like we're a family here. My family's here. I love coming to school with my family. But we're not alone. Yeah. There are multiple other couples and families that come that work here. In fact, one of the prerequisites to getting a job here is that within 2 years you need to bring your partner.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think it is. I think it is. And then obviously if you've got kids, they have to come here as well. So it's just a beautiful place to work. The community is something that I never experienced in other workplaces. And of course all the God reasons that you said.
All the God reasons.
All the God reasons.
One, wait for me. 1, 2.
Hang on, what were we saying again?
Stop it. 1,
Happy 40th
2,
anniversary, Melton Christian College.
3.
Happy 40th anniversary, Melton Christian College.